How are you all doing? So, doing something a little different than my usual. Normally, I don't do programming streams, but well, my friend Strangeberry Jim and I decided to uh, learn to use Unreal together and eventually make a project together through Unreal. And why Unreal and not something else? Well, for starters, Unity. I don't think I need to explain. I just think it went viral. What the hell it is they did? Pretty much everyone knows that what their greedy bots did. So yeah, and we lost trust in Unity altogether. As for Godot, which was the original idea, well, it is built on GD script mainly, and like most, it is supposedly better to use that. Even though it has compatibility with C sharp, that was something was recently added on the newer version. Maybe because they saw the a sudden flow of developers coming in, but still, it's not like properly optimized for C sharp. It is still primarily, excuse me, it is still primarily GD script, but curriculum wise, GD script doesn't really help us. C++, which is what Unreal uses, does. As for the version of Unreal, we're going to be working with Unreal Engine 4. Why 4 not 5? Well, simply because my hardware cannot handle Unreal Engine 5. I'm at the very edge of the minimum, and I know I will struggle with that. So these streams are gonna be like roughly 1 hour long. I'll be joining my friend Jim in a while. I just wanted to do my little explain why the reasoning why I'm doing this 1 hour ish long stream for programming. Since this is kind of outside of my area, I do know a little bit of programming. I don't know jack shit about C++. It's like, but what little I know is so superficial is pretty much useless. What I learned mostly was Java and a little bit of Kotlin, a little of C sharp, well, mainly from what I used to experiment with Unity to try and make a game there up until my hard drive died and I got demotivated and just never went back to that. But now I had made up my mind to this year to try at some point start messing with game development again, using a game engine again. And well, Jim and I had decided to go with Unity. I mean, with Unreal. Speaking of, I might as well join him over on his stage now and see how we are actually going to progress with this. I didn't make an entirely. I did take my intermission, which is what you see now, and made a modified version of it for this reason.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get the
There he is.
this video of Unreal Engine started there, everybody. Welcome to
He's
a
in his
new
own little intro.
training session. Let me go ahead and invite Blackheart in to speak. Because he's here as well.
Hello there, Jim. How you doing?
Not bad. Close the song down. Not do that. Oh yeah. Now that you're here, I can, my headset won't power off on me, so I can close out the music in the background. Okay, so this is the very first session that we're going to be doing, covering the Unreal Engine. Now, you and I, Blackheart, we're unemployed. We're trying to find, jobs in the market. But I mean, we still have our own, dreams that we have, of making products, and one of those products could also be gaming. So, so one of the idea that I was having was maybe we can try to join forces on creating something together. Now, what that's going to be, who knows? Are we going to continue on, or am I going to take what I did with Unity's, well, what I tried to do with Unity with the game GGG and put it into Unreal. Don't know. We'll discuss that, or shall we make a different game again? There's a lot of things that we're gonna have to discuss prior for us actually starting up a new project. So, um, but that's something that we'll need to discuss and figure out. You know, uh, what our first steps are going to be. But for right now, we're going to need to figure out, what we can actually do with Unreal. Now, um, Blackheart and myself, we both don't know Unreal. That's
No.
correct?
No, I've
Yeah.
never touched Unreal Engine.
Yeah. Neither have I.
And we are working with Unreal Engine 4 mainly because my hardware can't handle 5.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. It should still be perfectly fine for us to for us to work on it. Now, obviously, we're probably not going to be getting some of the, you know, most the up to date features of 5, but that's okay. We can still we're learning we're learning Unreal for the first time. We're learning all the processes, how to actually build something, from scratch, with Unity or with Unreal.
But using the Unreal
Um,
tools in general.
right. Which we can then transfer onto Unreal 5 when we get to that point. Okay.
Yeah.
Once, you know, we get to a point where, hey, we can upgrade Blackheart's hardware to be fantastic, you know, whenever that day may be.
Yeah,
Um,
considering the
you know,
prices of hardware here, the
well,
yeah, if you guys
we're
think it's
worried.
expensive for you guys, hardware is worth a fortune for us.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, we'll continue working towards that goal.
Yeah.
Okay, so, um, but for the time being, we can at least work on trying to create something that could benefit both of us. Okay.
Yep.
Um, Now, I've never done anything with Unreal myself. The reasoning behind that is, um, I'm not an artist at all. I'm a programmer. I draw stick figures. So,
Don't worry,
um,
I'm in the
you
same
know,
boat there.
yeah. So, considering to draw anything in 3D would be quite out of my wheelhouse. Um, so not to say that it's not impossible. I'm just saying that it would take a lot. Um, so it was never something that I personally was looking at and going, oh yeah, I can do this, no problem. No, you know, um, I my focus has been mainly keep it 2D because at least with 2D I can just create simple sprites and do very simple animations there, and everything should be fine. With Unreal, well, I might be throwing all of that out the window. I don't really know, you know. Um, from what I understand, and I'm
Well, the benefit
I'm
of Unreal 4 it does have a 2D template. And
yeah,
not
but
just side scroll, like full on 2D template.
yeah, and we'll see how good that is.
Yeah, I believe
If
on the Unreal Engine 5 they actually removed that 2D template. They just
yeah,
discarded Unreal.
there,
They kept it up to 4 and that was it.
yeah. And who knows? Yeah, I've heard that some people have added that back in, or did like their own
They found ways to work around it, but there
proprietary.
is a demand to bring that back. So it would be just a matter
Yeah,
of time for Unreal to decide, okay, no, people want it, let's put it back in.
yeah. I mean, they have. And there has been some development in 2D games using a lot of the features in Unreal to, you know, spice up the games. Okay, so I'm not
Yep.
saying that that's not impossible. Um, but for us two, for Blackheart and myself, trying to create those exact games that are out there right now by those development studios are probably not exactly obtainable like right now, right at this particular second. Obviously, we don't know about Unreal, so
Nope.
we're gonna learn that. Are we gonna get to that point? Maybe, maybe even better. Who knows? You know, we'll see. Um, but figured I'd kind of give a little rundown as to where we stand in Unreal and the like. Now, um, first thing that first thing that I want to go over with you is you have the Unreal Engine 4.27.2, right?
I downloaded the last version of Unreal Engine 4.
Okay. Do you have the Epic Games launcher up at all?
Let me open it real quick.
I want to make sure that our engines are the same because if
It's
they're off by
4.27.2.
okay. Yeah, I downloaded the last version of the 4 version, which was 27.2.
Yeah,
So I
that was the
just wanted
last
to make
one.
sure. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we had the same engine. Okay, otherwise we'd we could potentially have some issues in terms of handling like tutorials and the like or coding up things. Now, um, right now this is just going to be a project between Blackheart and myself. Could there potentially be more programmers, artists, writers involved in this project? Who knows? Maybe. I'm not going to say no, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want someone to come in and write up all the code and say, okay, you guys are done. You know, I want us to learn as well. Okay.
Yeah,
Not to say that, you know, someone that has a lot of experience can't necessarily join our team. I don't necessarily want them taking over because that wouldn't help us out.
no.
Okay, we wouldn't necessarily learn what Unreal Engine could do, how to go about doing it, if someone comes in and writes all the code for us. Okay, um, so I'm not gonna want to. I personally would not want to see that happen. Blackheart, you're agreeing with me right there.
Yes,
So,
I am.
you know, so, um, I want this to be a collaborative session.
Yes.
So if someone was to kind of join us, then I have no problem on giving them parts of the code for them to kind of work, and maybe they'll get it done in a snap while, Blackheart and I struggle. That's perfectly fine. It's understandable. But I don't necessarily want them coming into like my code and going, okay, here's the code that you need to do, and there you go, you're done. It's like that wouldn't help me. So, um, I actually had that happen once in college. It was a group project, just me and another guy, and I was like, hey, partner, we need to get together and write this up. We need to get together and write this up. And then the night before, I suddenly get an email saying, oh yeah, I finished it already. It's like, and it was written really bad. Like, it worked the way it needed to work, but it wasn't good enough to continue. I couldn't really read it. It was unreadable to me, but yeah. I don't want to have that happen
Yeah.
to either one of us. So, Um. So, I was looking at the um what they had in terms of like their resources and the like. So, um, here, uh let me send you a link there, Blackheart. So, one second. So you're kind of on the same page that I'm on. So I sent you a link for the samples and tutorials for 4.27 on the docs.unrealengine.com. So just so if anybody wants to kind of follow along, that's the link that I just sent to Blackheart concerning. Um, so in this particular document, this browser, uh, there's the samples and tutorials, links to various example scenes, sample games, and tutorials for Unreal Engine 4.27 documentation. So to help you more quickly understand the various ways you can use Unreal Engine 4 and the assets that can be created with it, we have assembled a collection of learning resources for you to download, play with, and deconstruct. So templates are starting off points, giving you a few key classes and a level to begin your game. That is another link altogether. Let me see. Okay, so this is kind of showing like different templates here. And this might actually be something that we might want to kind of go over anyway, there, Blackheart.
Yeah.
Just to start off with. I mean, as we go on down, there's presentation books and guides, which, I mean, we could probably go over that later, but you know, um, now one of the things that they say on the samples and tutorials page, not on the templates page, but you know, there's a learning resource projects. Learning resource projects are all available through the Learn tab of the Epic Games launcher. And I was kind of trying to look around for that a little bit before we kind of started, but I do not see a Learn tab anywhere in the Epic Games launcher. Do you see one yourself at all?
Not that I can find one. Let me see. It's already here.
I mean, I see, you know, when I click on the Unreal Engine, I see news, I see samples, I see marketplace, I see library, and I see Twin Motion, whatever that is. I'm not going to install that, whatever that is, so I'll leave that alone for now. So I don't see a Learn tab at all.
No. No, I know there's one on the website.
On the website for Epic Games or
on the website of Unreal.
Okay. Could you provide a link to me on that one?
Let me just switch the overlay a little bit so I don't show Discord.
Yeah, you might need to switch. You're probably going to be switching off a lot, or try to.
This is where I wish I had a second monitor.
Believe me, I feel you on that one.
There, I just sent you a link of the Learn tab open, pretty much.
Yeah. What I did there, Blackheart, is make sure that when you're live, just use the window function for just the Unreal Engine, and just leave it at that. You know, don't display anything else. Matter of fact, let me check out your. I mean, you're
Mm,
streaming right now, so let
yeah, like
me.
I left it for screen capture so that I could show the Learn site as well.
I'd be careful with that because obviously, you know, if you're showing too much, then um, I mean, as long as we're like discussing like where we're at and what we're doing, that should be fine. I would just say like leave it on the Unreal Engine, like select or create a new project. You know, if you're like looking at my stream right now, that you know, I just have the um, you know, the Unreal Project browser window open right at this moment in time, and my face cam, and that's it. So that's what I would kind of recommend, I would imagine. And then, of course, you know, everybody on your stream or you know your audience won't necessarily see browsers that way. So
Well, let me try. I do have a backup already set for that. I just hope
yeah,
that the size is actually decent.
that's probably going to be a little bit of a problem, I'm sure. But
Well, that's what I got on the one I have preset already. That one's
hmm,
only capturing the engine itself. It's not capturing anything else.
okay, it looks like looks fine for the most part.
I wanted to use
So
that so that my head doesn't cover anything.
yeah, yeah, understandable. I mean, you have your overlay, and that's perfectly reasonable. So
Yeah, I did take my intermission overlay and moved my head from its normal position and put the uh, window capture on that.
yeah,
Sizing is always a pain in the butt though.
yeah. Okay. The only concern that I have about uh this one is that it's showing features for, you know, it's giving projects for 5 at this moment in time on the learn page. So
Yeah,
for anybody that's kind of curious, you know, we're currently at unrealengine.com US/learn for um, for the Unreal, and obviously, you know, with them creating Unreal Engine 5, they're obviously going to be doing a lot with that, right? So, um, so I can see here, you know, sample projects. They're already, you know, talking about, you know, Unreal Engine 5, Unreal Engine 5, Unreal Engine 5. So that's
yeah.
not so. I mean, we could still try to build those in Unreal Engine 4, but they might actually be saying like, hey, here's some features that are specific to Unreal Engine 5, and um, we're not going to be seeing that in an Unreal Engine 4, so we're not going to be able to get those kind of details. So,
Yeah,
um,
I'm trying to go around the site and see if I can find any of its older tutorials.
um,
Like some of them have a sort of like an archive of the, but I don't know if Unreal has an archive of the old setup.
okay, well, what you can do is go to um, you know, on that one page of Learn, okay, there is a link for visit documentation, and that's what I typically go for anything concerning like tutorials or whatnot. So I would recommend going to documentation. Under the documentation page, it automatically puts you under the engine Unreal Engine 5.3 documentation, which obviously we don't really want right at this moment in time. So there is a drop down on there at the very top that should give you a window that can drop down, and you should see Unreal Engine 4.27 documentation. Do you see that?
Yes, I do find it.
Okay.
Let's
Then
see, does it have the... Okay, what's news? Understanding the basics, working with content, building virtual worlds, designing visual rendering and graphics, programming and scripting, making
so one,
interactive experience. That's all that's inside there. There's a few more tabs as well. Sample
yeah,
and
okay.
tutorials.
So the sample and tutorials that I linked to you, my friend, is part of that. Um, is part of the overall documentation. So what we should probably go through is instead of going straight into the samples and tutorials, maybe we should start off with going to like the what's new and just kind of discussing that. Sound like a plan? And then we can like maybe move on to understanding the basics. Like,
Yeah, I guess we can do this in order, like in
yeah,
some way.
just kind of go left to right and down as we go along, and we'll kind of discuss this. Is that a plan? Sound like a plan to you?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
sounds like a plan.
it'll take longer, obviously, but I mean, we don't necessarily want to skip any details
Yeah,
because if we
and
skip,
we don't know Unreal in general. We never
yeah,
touched it,
I mean,
so
yeah, if we skip details, then we're gonna be shooting ourselves in the foot. We might be
yeah.
like going, "How do we use this particular program?" Well, that was actually under rendering or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
And we skipped it for some unknown stupid reason. Let's not do that.
Yeah, same
So
goes for the programming. My knowledge of C++ is so superficial, it's pretty much useless.
understandable, understandable. Well, I'll see what I can do to try to help you out with that. Um, what's your well, you said that your main language is C sharp, right?
It's C Sharp and Java.
Okay,
Beyond that, I know a little bit of JavaScript and Kotlin.
right. Okay, so um, now I haven't personally used C sharp myself. Okay, but obviously C++
It's
plus plus is a different
yeah,
well,
and I'm quite rusty with C
obviously
Sharp
C++
anyways. It's
is
been a
different than
while.
Java, so
Mm.
um, but the memory management is what's going to be probably something that you're probably not going to be that familiar with, and you. Well, let me tell you right now, okay? Because it's happened to me. I've made mistakes in memory management when it comes to C and C++. You're probably also going to be making mistakes when it comes to memory management and C and C++. So be prepared for that, and don't be, uh, you know, uh, no, it's a common mistake. Okay, the fact that we have a term called memory leak just for that reason, you know, because it's so well known and so well, it happens so often. Um, so, um, let me, uh, actually, oh my gosh. So when I click under what's new, it opens up a brand new window altogether. You know what? Let me switch this over to my um, let me switch this over to my Chrome browser at the very least, and then I can maybe display that one. So let's see.
It's mostly showing the features that were added when 4.27 was released.
Yeah. Let me create something here real quick. Um, oh wait, no, that's not what I want. That's only going to show one particular part of the browser, and that's not going to really work for me here. Guess we'll do window capture. Okay, I'll put that right down there. Make that stretch the screen. Okay, and then I will go ahead and do a quick transition. There we go. Video mode, gotta love it. Okay, so I can go ahead and close out the Pega because that's done. Okay, so the what's new, learn about the new features that are included in each release, as well as some of the cutting edge features that begin introduced in beta or experimental states. You have the release notes, beta features, and our experimental features. So it's like, okay. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of just um, this might be kind of outside of our wheelhouse a little bit because it might be like showing uh, like additions that we're not really familiar with.
Yeah, no. I'd say we first have to understand with the basics, since the news is mostly
Yeah,
showing, okay, we added this, this, and this for those who haven't been using the engine before.
yeah, which I mean it makes sense obviously, but for Blackheart and myself, we're gonna be like looking at this and going, okay, sure, you added that. What exactly does it do? We have no idea.
Nope.
So, it probably we're probably gonna need to kind of switch on to just understanding the basics. What do you say?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, so we're gonna get off the what's new part of the documentation. We'll go ahead and go on to the understanding the basics. So there's getting started with UA4, installing the Unreal Engine that we've already done, so we don't need to worry about that. Finding help and answers, we probably don't really need that
Nope.
because, you know, we already know where to look. Unreal Engine for Unity developers. Well, I mean that's all well and good, but I'm not like an official Unity developer at all. I don't claim to be, so this
Yeah.
probably really wouldn't help us out very much either.
No, and I haven't touched Unity in a long time, and much less now after what they did.
Man. Um, so, I mean, we could do the Unreal Engine for terminology. We could kind of start with that.
Let's see.
Well, I'm gonna click on the getting started with UE4 and see what that's all about. I choose your operating system, Windows, Mac OS. Well, definitely Windows. Okay, so there's different. Ooh, there's actually the Unreal Engine for terminology on this page as well. Okay. Okay. I'm thinking let's start with the level designer quick start, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So installing the Unreal Engine, we already did that. So prerequisite topics. Okay. Create a new project and all that. Okay, um, so in the project browser, you can create new projects based off several different template types or open any previously created projects or samples that you've downloaded. Let's create a new project. Yay! Project browser appears under new project category. Select a development category for this quick start. Let's create a project from the games category. So, so games. Next. On the second page of the project browser, select a blank template and then click next. Okay. So next on that. On the final page of the project browser, select the blueprint and with starter content settings, enter folder location and name for your project and click create project. Okay, might need to be a little careful with the folder name or folder location, my friend, so might need to put that in a like a browser webcam only, just in case.
Yeah, just for now.
Yeah, they don't necessarily need to know your folder structure, so. Although I was already showing it. Oh well. Oh, okay. Something for me to delete later, I guess, if I can remember it. Let's see. Select blueprint with starter content settings. Blueprint with starter content settings. Select a folder location. I want this to kind of go under my let's see. Go under that.
What do I call this?
And then what's the name of this again? Level Designer Quick Start. I'm gonna name it that. Level Designer Quick Start. Oh, okay. Level Designer Quick. Apparently I can't have a name longer than that. Okay, and then we click Create Project. Oh boy, it just went full screen on me. Okay, let's do that. Now let me see. Studio mode. Are you showing? Yeah, you are showing it. Okay, I was about to say, are you going to be showing the engine right now? And it is. So we'll go ahead and do the transition. Get out of studio mode. There we go. And there's the Unreal Engine 4. Now it says, welcome to Unreal Engine 4. Click the graduate cap icon for the tour of the tools, which I don't know if we really want to do that, but we apparently finished the step for required setup. So navigating the viewport. With the project open, ready to go, the first thing you may notice is the viewport in the center of the Unreal editor. So I'm assuming that you're already there, right?
Yeah, just working on the capture to get it to work.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready, or when you're there.
Yeah, just give me a sec. Just
No worries. I want us to kind of be working together on this, so I don't want to go too far ahead on this. And obviously, we don't have a lot of time left on this, which is perfectly fine. This is going to be a daily thing,
Yeah.
so we're not going to be like doing like major coding sessions, 8-hour sessions, or anything along those lines right at this moment in time. Maybe someday in the future, maybe, but for right now, we're just kind of learning this. So small little sessions like this should be fine to start off with. Maybe someday, Blackheart and I will do a full like 8-hour or full day coding session or something like that. Especially if everybody wants to watch that. Um, but
What is it trying to capture? Come on. Where the hell is that message?
so I
Okay,
used
there we go.
a window. I used a window source or window capture for the for Unreal, just to give you an indicator as to what I used.
Yeah, no, there
Uh,
was just a little pop-up that it decided to capture the pop-up and not the entire window.
mm,
Okay, there, I got it running for now. There we go.
okay.
So they capture a tiny pop-up worm right down in the corner.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. Okay. Um. So So what we're looking at is the viewport in the center. That's where you're seeing the two chairs and the table.
Yep.
Um, Inside the viewport is where you will do most of your level construction. Makes sense. The template project is what we selected in the previous step. Includes a small sample level and some assets for us to get started with. Using this little area as a point of reference, take a moment to get used to the viewpoint camera controls by using the most common methods of navigating the viewport in Unreal Engine 4. So standard controls. These controls represent the default behavior when clicking and dragging in viewports with no other keys or buttons pressed. These are also the only controls that can be used to navigate the orthographic viewports. Um, controls perspective and then action. Left mouse button and drag moves the camera forward and backward and rotates left and right. So left click and drag, forward, backward, left, right. So right click and drag rotates the viewport camera. So I'm assuming, yeah, I'm capturing this right at this moment in time. So doing a right click will change the direction where the camera is looking. So there's that. And then left plus the right plus drag moves up and down. So we have both of them selected, and we move in, we go up, we move back, we move down. So that's kind of how you're kind of moving around the viewport. So now this is perspective, and now we have orthographic. I'm not quite sure what they mean by because when they're saying perspective, we just did that with the left, right, and double. But now it's saying orthographic with the same kind of controls. So,
Well, the double one can also be the middle mouse button. It does exactly the same thing. Then using both clicks at the same time.
oh, the middle mouse button can do the Well, that's from the middle mouse button for me, or scrolling does the kind of like the
Yes,
left click
scrolling
forward and
does the
backward,
zoom for me. Yeah, scrolling zooms
but
in and out. Just clicking and
but
holding it down, you can move it around like if you were doing the clicking left and right at the same time.
yeah. Personally, I like the left and right click. I don't really like pushing down on the middle button myself, but that's me. um. Okay, so orthographic top, front, and side. So, um, so at the very top of the window, the perspective window, um, there there's a little button called perspective
Yes.
next to lid and show. When I click on that, I see the orthographic. I see top, bottom, left, right, front, and back. So that's probably what it's referring to for the top, front, and side in the quick start. Um, I'm assuming side is probably what they're using for like the left and right. Um, but the front and back are not. Well, actually, they say top, front, and side. So I'm gonna assume that um, you know, top is probably the same as bottom. Um, front is the same as back, and side is just basically, hey, you want left or right. So, so if you want the top-down view, which is really, really funky, I switched over to the top-down view, and a left creates a marquee selection box. Oh, it's a left click and drag. Gotcha. Okay. Uh, right click and drag pans the viewport camera. So, gotcha. Okay, so you can just kind of drag around your perspective about that. Gotcha. I see. And then the middle mouse button or the left and right click zooms the viewport camera in and out. So that's out, that's in, so on and so forth. Okay. So, that's interesting. Focusing. F focuses the camera on the selected object. This is essential to make the most out of tumbling the camera. So if you say select one of the objects out of the two and you push F, then it focuses on that particular object somehow. Although
It suits me all the way out when I do that.
yeah, not quite sure what happened there, but the like I'm trying to move back in. Oop, 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 oop. Stop that. Yeah, it zoomed me super far out when I hit the F. What the heck?
Yep. Why did it do that?
Focus the camera on the selected object. This is essential for making the most out of tumbling the camera. Switch to an orthographic view, click the perspective drop down, and select the orthographic view mode. Yeah, that's fine. That tip should have actually been on the very top there, but whatever. Yeah, not sure why it moved us all the way
Oh, I figured it out.
out like that.
I figured it out.
What's that?
Look on the upper right corner in the world outliner and select the objects you want to focus on, and then hit F again.
What do you mean objects that I want to focus on?
Because right now it's focused on it's selected the what's it called again? I moved this. I can't remember what it was called. The sphere reflection capture. It was. I think that was it, or the skylight. That one of those two was the one selected. I went down to the static meshes and selected something else, like the table. I hit F, and now I'm soon back where the table's at. Like that's the hierarchy right there. What
Ah,
you're
okay. So
selecting.
yeah, okay. So and the world outlier on the window or the um
That
in
will
the
be
upper
Unity's
right hand,
hierarchy, pretty much. Its
yeah,
equivalent.
yeah, in the upper right hand corner, there's a tab called
Oh
World
come on!
Outlier, and
There you go.
um, ori- well, originally it was focused on everything. It had highlights on, the skylight, the table, the sphere, the sky sphere, everything.
Yeah.
So, so if we wanted to focus on, say, like the floor, then we want to hit F on, and there's the floor. So, we want to focus on the statue, hit F, and we're on the statue now. Although there's these things that seem to be kind of blocking our view a little bit, so that's a little odd, but yeah, whatever. Um, if we change our perspective back to, um, back to perspective, then we can kind of see, um, like, when I selected the statue, it's now on the statue itself. I select the table and hit F, then it focuses on if I do the skylight and hit F, then it actually didn't push me that high up in the air.
Its skylight's not
Weird.
that far out.
According to, and from the perspective,
Yeah. What it was originally
at least.
selected was BP Sky Sphere. That's the one that zooms us all the way out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there it is. So, okay. Um, so now we have a little bit of a way to kind of allow for us to kind of move around a little bit.
Yeah. And we know where the hierarchy is and what it's called.
Yeah, for the most part. Okay, so we have the WSD flight controls. All these controls are only valid in the perspective viewport. And by default, you must hold the right mouse button to use the WASD game style controls. So, so you're holding the right mouse button, and now you can kind of like fly around a little bit. So, although
The
trying to get the right
x-axis.
kind of getting the right kind of angle might be a little off, but it might give you,
Okay.
if you're holding the right key, then you can just kind of fly around the map a little bit. So, you can fly under, you can fly over. So, okay, not too shabby. Um, obviously you could probably use that for, getting a view of what you need to do with it, but for the most part, it'd probably be faster for us to kind of just click on the world outlier
And focus.
and kind of and focus on that particular object or something. It depends.
Yeah.
So, um, okay, so, uh, we're probably going to be getting through navigating the viewport, and that's probably about it. So we're probably not going to be able to get to create a new level at this time.
Not
So
yet.
we'll have to hold off on that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But so I'll make a note of that for later. Uh, that we are going through the quick start, and we are about to start F3, which is create a new level. Okay, so we'll leave that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, it's not bad. You know, it's not like it's downright terrible, or like, you know, we're obviously we're looking at the 3D equivalent of, you know, what we need to do and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's um you know, from my perspective, it's very smooth in its movement and stuff like that, but that doesn't necessarily translate into, you know, hey, it's going to be functioning perfectly fine with everything that we could potentially throw at it. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. Now, obviously, Unreal Engine is, you know, has a lot of people that have created like multiple games on it and so on and so forth. Uh, will it be able to, you know, it should be able to handle, you know, whatever our minds, you know, Blackhearted minds wants to do with it.
Yeah.
But you never know. We may we may go like, hey, let's throw like millions of assets into our game all at the same time, and Unreal Engine's going, are you kidding me? You know, who knows? Who knows? Obviously, you know,
Well, I mean, just look
we
at Katamari Damacy and what they did with millions of assets into whatever engine it was they used.
sure, sure. But you know, the just trying to build a game, you know, we have to, you know, depending on what we want to make, we're obviously going to need to be careful with everything that we're going to be like trying to put into it. So, or at least, you know, make sure that what we're making at that particular moment in time isn't going to be like, you know, crashing someone's computer later. So,
In Unreal Engine 4, I probably wouldn't worry too much, as long as we understand the biggest issue of Unreal, the frame rate limits.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you know, if we want to try to get as much of an audience as we can, like, you know, we haven't even gotten to what we want to make yet, right?
Yeah.
You know, do we want to make a mobile game? Do we want to make a web game? Do we want to make a Steam game? You know, or, you know, just standard computer game? Do we want to make all of the above? Who knows? We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So, but if we're going to be making, say, like a mobile game, then we don't necessarily want to be making a game that has millions of assets, you know, because a phone would basically explode in your hand if it tried to handle a game like that, right? So let's not do that.
Yeah.
But you know, we have to design the game for the platform that we're aiming for. Okay. So, and obviously we don't have the licenses for any of the consoles, so we're not going to do that.
No. Now we'll start small, something simple that, I don't know, we could put up on play.itch.io to get some proper feedback.
Or something, you know, whatever. Like for right now, we're just going to be working on the tutorials, getting ourselves knowledgeable about that.
Yeah. Understanding the engine, how it works.
Yeah. And then we'll start working on
making something.
Well, we got to be careful of not creating something too early. Okay, we need to kind of structure out something first.
Yeah.
Let's structure something out. Let's figure out what we kind of need to do, what we're going to need to kind of go for, and that's if we want to use Unreal Engine at the end. You know, if Unreal Engine isn't doing what we're probably going to want it to do, then we may need to switch over to something else. So
yeah. In the case
So
that you do think about Godot, that engine only works for PC. It has no console or mobile capacity.
right, yeah, I know. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it for this Unreal Engine session. We're going to go ahead and stop it there.
Yep.
Or I'm going to stop it there, Blackheart. So I'm staying on time, so you can get the heck out of here and go eat.
Yeah, that's why I'm only
And
doing it like 1 hour long. It's around this time that I make something to eat before streaming because I don't like eating on stream.
exactly,
It's kind of
no
uncomfortable
worries,
for me.
no worries on that. Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna go ahead and call it at this point. I need to uh, switch out myself. You know, um, call it a day. So uh, check out our channels, check out our descriptions.
Yep. Let's see now. Oh, something happened to his stage. He probably closed it down, probably. Yeah, he closed his stage. So, yeah. Uh, that is gonna be it for this programming stream. Yes, it was short. Yes, we didn't get too much out of it. Like we said, we are new at Unreal. We don't know how it works. Like, I didn't. When I hit F, I was looking for that hierarchy from Unity. I didn't know what it was called here. Normally, it's like on this side on Unity. That's why I was looking primarily here. Okay, one of these is this. No, this is basic. What was the word? I know it's. I don't know why it's in Spanish. We'll have to edit this eventually into English. But no, it's over here more outline. Something that I didn't know. But anyways, thank you all for watching. For those who are on YouTube, leave down in the comments if you have any idea of what should our first project be once we learn a bit more about Unreal, or maybe an alternative to Unreal that we could work with for people that have used Unity. I don't think about Godot because that's for PC only. Whatever we make in the future, we would like to get it out there, like not just PC. If we can get it on a mobile phone or on a console, that would be great. Like I said, we are learning this. We are just starting to learn this. So hopefully next time we can do more, like actually creating a level, which is the next step on the tutorials. Yeah, it says create new level on the title. Hopefully I can figure out to make this look better when I come back tomorrow with this. This is gonna be like once a day between Wednesdays and Mondays. Tuesdays is my day off. That's you probably won't see me. At least for now, I'm not gonna be touching anything. Then I take that day to rest up. I mean, as well, taking care of my little brother also kind of sometimes tires me out. Today it was simple. I didn't have to deal too much with my little brother, fortunately. That's why I'm more energetic. So okay, that's gonna be it for this stream. I'm gonna close it down. I'm going to send whoever's over on my VStream side over to someone else. So I'm gonna meter shower someone, so that at least you guys continue to watch some content. Then I will be back in about an hour, hour and a half. Around that time, I'll be back for some Alan Wake. Yeah, yes, this is something new to me. I need to get used to this new schedule, about 1 hour of this whole Unreal stuff. And then after that, like, I will like stop, eat, and then come back for my games, for my usual stream. So let's see, over on VStream there's actually several people on right now. And let's go with something that's sticks with the spooky season, actually. Right, I'm gonna mute the desktop audio real quick, so hopefully the audio was work good, that you could hear my friend Strange Regime. He's got more experience than me in some areas. I haven't touched Unity in quite a long time, and I was more of a C# guy, but Unreal C++, and I'm gonna have to learn that. So, okay. Me shower, okay? So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short little stream, and I'll be seeing you all in about an hour and a half. Bye bye!